Hello everyone and welcome back to another Wizard 101 video. Today, I'm cracked out of my mind. I just had so much caffeine and I am in a delusional state of being currently. I've ascended and therefore I'm going to record like 2 videos today. Give myself a little bit of a break. Also, because Hurricane Henry's coming and I might lose power. Kind of scary, but it exists. You may be wondering, why am I wearing sunglasses? Why are you not wearing sunglasses? Honestly, all fair questions. Today's video is on my mixed feelings on shadow spells and shadow spells in general. So, let's get right into it. Starting off, what are shadow spells if you do not know? Shadow School was a thing introduced in Chrysalis, you can see here. Shadow spells. Basically, halfway through Chrysalis, you are told that to beat Morganth, one of the things you need to do is learn the Shadow School, because the Shadow School will be extremely useful in beating Morganth. Now, it works independently from the pip system, which means you don't get normal pips Sorry, I had a stroke. Normal pips aren't directly involved with shadow pips. Shadow pips are their own unique system that you gain at a different rate than normal pips, and with shadow pips you can then proceed to use shadow spells. Now, originally when shadow spells came out, let me go to, where is it? Mooncliffs? I think Mooncliffs is the one. Yeah, that sounds right. Originally when they came out, shadow spells were introduced as these things, as transformations that added some unique bonuses that gave you reason to transform into them. Now, I'd like to say some of them are definitely more useful than others, but definitely all of them had their own uses, their own reasons to use them, and really none of them were completely bad and useless. Like, unlike other schools and spells, certain spells just really aren't useful. In Shadow, that's not necessarily true. All spells are pretty useful, I'd say, and genuinely have some unique traits to them. For example, Shadow Shrike with the plus 50% pierce and the 10% damage, that's pretty darn cool. It's an offensive spell, and it also is incredibly useful for battles where the boss might have a lot of resist or a lot of shields. Sorry, I'm just in a constant state of stroke. My brain is running 300 miles an hour faster than my mouth can move, but I'm trying to work it out. So let's talk more about the transformations. I do like the transformations, but I do feel that they should add more. I feel like currently the main transformations we have are Sentinel, Seraph, Shrike, and then Trickster. You can see the Trickster has a either plus 60% crit or minus 30% crit block. I actually think you get both. And you trick one. I don't know exactly how it works. Shrike, you get the 50% pierce, 10% damage, and minus 25% heal. With Sentinel, you intercept incoming damage from your allies, and you also get some crit block. And then Seraph will give you some extra healing. You can see here. So, are these useful? Are these good? I would say yes. They're actually really good and really useful in certain situations, but there is a problem with them, and I would say that they're just a little bit outdated and could use a little bit of a buff or add stronger ones now that we're level 140, and these were obviously designed for level 92. Specifically like Seraph, an outgoing of 25% healing isn't really that useful in the slightest. I'm not going to say it's not useful in the slightest. Sorry, let me amend that. It's not that useful. It could be buffed significantly. But I would say that the shadow spells are the least egregious of shadow. Let's talk about why this is called my mixed feelings on shadow, because I've really only said positive things about it so far. My mixed feelings are shadow infused spells. Now, obviously, we've been getting shadow infused spells for a while since Darkmoor. You have Fire from Above for fire, tier 5, tier 4, whatever. All of these different types of shadow infused spells. Now, people might be like, no, why do you have a problem with these? These are amazing spells. They all do a lot of damage. For every school, they're incredibly useful. That is true, but there's one thing missing from them that I would like to see that makes me a little bit disappointed. And that's the fact that there's no direct drawback to using these shadow-infused spells. We're constantly told by everyone around us and Grandmother Raven, all that kind of stuff, that shadow directly has an effect on us as a person, and it tends to be a more negative one. I would like it if KingsIsle went and reworked the spells so they all had a little bit of a... Sorry, that was my morning alarm going off. Let me throw my phone over there. I would like to see it that KingsIsle reworked the Shadow Infused spells so that they all had some kind of possible negative to go along with them, or a possible positive. The reason for this is it would make it incredibly cool and a unique idea, a very novel idea, that there's a reason to use these spells. They're incredibly powerful, but they come with a possible drawback as well, where, you know, with all things, with all power, there usually comes a drawback. And I think that would be incredibly cool, and it would also go back to yesterday, make there a reason to be light spells in this game, which are less strong, they're a lesser form of Shadow Infused spell, but they have less drawbacks, more positive outcomes to them, but are significantly less damaging. And it would bring this cool dynamic to the game where you can either choose heavy hitting, but possibly dangerous shadow spells, or less hitting, but heavily buffed or beneficial light spells. So, really, that's what I wanted to go over today, was shadow spells, how to fix them, my ideas on how to fix them, all that kind of stuff, Shadow Infused spells, all that. Now, I would like to say, I don't think Shadow Infused spells are a bad idea. The main reason why they added them was because they were running out of pip cost. I mentioned that last video. They got up to 11 or 10, and they were like, oh crap, we only have a maximum of 14 pips, we're running out of stuff to do, so let's just reset the normal pip cost, add a shadow pip. But I think it's a good system. I just really wish that there was more dynamics to it. Like, there's really no drawbacks to shadow spells. The only real drawback, I would say, and painful part, is actually getting the shadow pips to use it, which, by the way, I hate the new shadow pip system. I like the old one a little bit better, because this one, let's add this to the mixed feelings of shadow that I explained in this video. So, if you don't know, shadow pip rating, what it does is you have a bar at the bottom that fills up to 100, and when that fills up to 100, you get a shadow pip. What this does, or what it will do, is that there is a % chance, based on your shadow pip rating, of filling up that bar every round. The problem with it is that the bar will not consistently fill up, and it won't consistently fill up at a single rate. And this makes it very difficult to predict shadow at all. And I understand that could be useful. I just don't think with how this current shadow system works is either they need to change the Shadow Infused spells or change the Shadow Pip rating system so it's less finicky and less infrequent, right? Because, you know, I'm not even gonna say infrequent, less inconsistent, right? Because there's been rounds where my death, first round, gets a Shadow Pip and I can use Cthulhu, but on the flip side of that, there's been rounds where I've gone 10, 15 rounds into a battle and not gotten a single Shadow Pip. And I don't think it should work like that. I think that there should be a cap. But that's my thoughts condensed into a 8-minute video radiating crackhead energy. I'm sorry if I'm talking very fast. There's probably double the word count in this video than in my usual videos in the same amount of time, which is kind of funny. I'm sorry if I overwhelmed you, all that kind of stuff. Whatever. Let me know your thoughts in the comments below. Do you agree with me with Shadow Infused? Do you like my light balancing with Shadow idea? Do you like Shadow spells in of themselves? Do you use them? All these things I would like to know, because I just want to know you guys. I think that Shadow is pretty cool, but I don't use it enough, sadly, beyond even Shadow Infused spells. And even then, I don't use those that much, because Shadow Infused spells can be difficult to get the Shadow Pip. But that's it for this video. If you enjoyed, drop a like at the sub button. Thank you all for watching, and I will see you in the next video. Adios.